Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience. I had a few technical difficulties this morning, but we've got everything working now. You want it to be louder? Please take your seats, and if you have a cell phone, please put it on silent mode. Nice to see all of you here on this beautiful morning in our beautiful Peace Park here. We're going to begin with a song called If I Were Brave by Janice Stanfield. And we're very grateful to have Reverend Ed Welch here for his lesson on claiming your independence. And my lovely wife, Anandi, will be the soloist.
What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believe, would the wind always be in my sail? How far would I go? What would I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you do if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today? I am brave. What would I do today? I am brave. What will I do today? I am brave. What will I do today? I am brave. What will I do today? I am brave.
Good morning, fellow children of God.
Good morning.
It's so good to see you this morning on this wonderful, wonderful day. So welcome to our Unity of Buffalo celebration service for this Sunday morning. We welcome all of the online viewers as well, who are going to be watching live or later. Are we on live right now?
No.
Later. Later. You're going to be watching later, thank you. My name is John Michaels, and I serve our ministry by serving on the board. I'm a member of the board, and I'm a prayer chaplain, and I do stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. So it's my pleasure to be here this morning. So let us begin with an opening prayer. Sweet and loving Spirit, we are so very grateful for this absolutely wonderful day. You are with us always. We feel your presence right this very moment, in the here and in the now. Life is good. And this life allows us to have open hearts. Let our hearts be open today and always. Remember your neighbors. Remember your friends. Remember your congregants, your fellow congregants. And let us speak words of truth. Let us speak words of love. Let us speak words of faith. We go forward today to provide each person we meet with caring and love and kindness. Thank you, God. Amen. Please join me in affirming our invocation. There is only one presence and one power, living as the universe and as me, God the good, omnipotent. Now let's affirm these truth statements for our ministry. This is our Unity of Buffalo blessing. Everybody remembers our vision, right? Our vision is a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. We can do that one more time, right? A vision of life, of love, peace, and abundance for all. Our mission, Unity of Buffalo practices the presence of God through prayer, education, service, creativity, and community. And our core values. Our first core value is loving. And let us kind of give ourselves a nice hug. And then let us give the world a hug. And embrace the world. That we are spiritually centered. Excuse me. There you go. I'm not completely incapable. Spiritually centered, let us tap our hearts. We are inclusive. We open our arms wide to all. Inclusive. That's one of the great things about our Unity Fellowship. Respectful, namaste, bow. And we are compassionate. From our hearts, let's extend our hands forward, saying, I am here to be of service. And now our daily word reading. We have Shelia Hudson, one of our new prayer chaplains. And Shelia is here to talk about free.
Good morning. Sunday, July the 3rd, 2022. Free. Living from my Christ nature sets me free. As a spiritual being, I am always free. I remember this at those moments I feel at the mercy of an unpredictable world. While I may not be able to control what happens around me, I can take comfort knowing I don't need to. I am free to choose my response, but even more, I am free to meet life from my divinity and the breath of my spiritual power. In prayer, I claim divine ideas. I use my gifts of imagination to envision the life I wish to live, and the gift of will to make choices to bring it about. I speak affirmations to raise my consciousness and help create conditions for my highest and best outcomes to manifest. I find precious freedom realizing that life doesn't happen to me, life happens through me. So if the Son makes you free, you will be free indeed. John 8, verse 36. Repeat with me together, please. Living from my Christ nature sets me free. Let's do that one more time. I'm sorry. Living from my Christ nature sets me free. Thank you.
Today we include in our prayers Mary Frank and Vera Harden. If you'd like to get in touch with Vera Harden, she'd love to have a card or a little message, and that information is in our email blast. Is that right, Christy?
Yeah.
Okay. I should have checked with you beforehand. Thank you. And we are praying for all of those individuals that have prayers that they'd like said for them. And we are praying for all of those individuals who have prayers on their hearts but have not asked. And we are praying for all those individuals that don't have anyone to pray for them. And prayer chaplain Vicki Anstead is here to give us our prayer today for.
Hi, I'm Vicki Anstead, your prayer chaplain for today, and I am pleased to do this service. Anyone who wants to pray one-on-one, I'll be standing over there under one of the trees, and I will, if you have a mask on, I'll put a mask on too. Okay. Dear Spirit of the universe, we ask you to bless our congregation, to bless each one of us, and bless us collectively. When we are collective with all the beings on earth, that is God. That is sacred. So we ask and give gratitude for the health that we have, for the prosperity that we have in all areas, financial, friendship, significant others. And we are grateful that we're here, that we have found Unity of Buffalo. And we pray especially to those who have lost loved ones, who are dealing with that loss. It is so difficult. And we ask that we all be blessed, all of us. And so it is. Amen.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Reverend Ed Welch is from the Atlanta area, but Reverend Ed is a native of Buffalo and a good friend of our ministry. He was ordained by the late and great Bishop Dr. Barbara Lewis King, a pillar in the New Thought community. Ed has blessed us with a message on several Sundays, and he brings to his preaching a deep understanding of the Bible and metaphysical interpretation, as well as the wisdom he has drawn from other world religions and his own life experience. He attended Buffalo State University, as well as Georgia State University, where he met his wife, Chantel, who is also an ordained New Thought minister and has shared a message with us as well. Reverend Ed's ministry is focused on empowering the person within, addressing the whole you in order to live life to the fullest expression of your real self. Please, let us give Reverend Ed a warm Unity of Buffalo welcome as he shares his message today, Claim Your Independence. Reverend Ed.
Feels good to be home. I'd like to take another moment just to just be still for a moment and just connect with the outside. You know, I think a lot of times we house ourselves in buildings and things like that. I think it's great to have the service outside. So let's just take a moment and go inward and close our eyes and just connect with the outside, please. Take a moment. All right, I'm going to try something. I'm going to take a piece out of my, this came to me while I was sitting here, so I'm going to go with spirit. As you have your eyes closed, I would like you to take in a breath, and I would like you to say, I am not this body. So taking a breath, I am not this body. As you release your breath, I would like you to say, I am not this mind. So inhale, I am not this body. Exhale, I am not this mind. So again, I'm going to instruct you to inhale, and in your mind, you're going to say, I am not this body. And then I'm going to instruct you to exhale, and you're going to say, I am not even this mind. So together, let's inhale. Exhale. Let's inhale again. Exhale. Let's inhale. Deep, deep down into your craw. Inhale. Exhale. Listen to those beautiful birds as they sing that song. Let's inhale again. I am not this body. Let's exhale. I am not even this mind. You may open your eyes when you're ready. I just needed to calm myself a little bit. I've been running around a lot. I've actually been in 5 different states in the last week and a half. And I just got here yesterday, and it was pretty difficult getting here. So Buffalo's a great place. Couldn't even get a rent-a-car. I walked here this morning. Yeah, I walked here this morning. So I just needed to settle myself, and I hope that helps you all become as calm as I am, because I feel really relaxed and calm now. Today, I would like to have a lesson on, it originally started, the title was Claiming Your Independence. Then I thought about it and I said, if you're constantly claiming your independence, then you can never get there. So we're going to claim our independence today. We're not going to try at it. We're going to claim it today. A few books that I will be referencing, spiritual books as well as different books to read. I will be referencing the Bible, Psalms 1, verse 2. I'll also be referencing Romans 12, verse 2. I'll be referencing the Quran, Asha Surah 42, stanza 36. I'll be referencing Daniel Amen's book, Change Your Brain, Change Your Body. I'll also be referencing Don Ruiz, The Four Agreements, great book, and also The Teachings of Buddha. So, a show of hands, honestly, how many people feel that they are independent? They claim their independence. Honestly, raise your hands. Let's show them high. Show them high. I'm one of them. Raise your hands. Okay. I want to see. Okay, good. Now, I need you to remember who raised their hands. We're talking about. But my hand was up too. Remember that. My hand was up too. So, I find it fitting in many ways. Tomorrow, of course, is Independence. We just celebrated Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, very good.
Independence, right? So everybody's trying to be independent from something, if you think about that. Countries. Most of that comes from the United Kingdoms, actually. The independence that most of the countries are talking about. So the great United Kingdoms that had a lot of different countries in bondage. What does independence mean? So Webster has a great definition, so we'll start with that. This word actually originated in 1610, and it originated as independency. That was the original. And later grew on to independence, the word that we know as independence. Webster actually defines the word independence as freedom from control or influence of another or others. It also says, the definition of independence, facts of not depending on others, being self-supportive or self-governing. So I'm here to tell you that all of us that just raised our hands are not independent. None of us are independent. Actually, we've all been brainwashed into thinking we are independent since we were young. It started very young. When you were young, you were dependent on the suckling of your mom's milk, right? Or your mom putting some formula in a bottle, some kind of way. You were dependent upon that. Yes? No?
Yes.
You agree? So, out of the womb, you had someone telling you when to eat, when to sleep. This is how you were introduced into this world, all of us. Okay? You're on a schedule. You're put to bed at a certain time. You're burped, fed at a certain time, changed at a certain time. And in fact, throughout your life, this continues. You continue to be dependent on things and others. In fact, as you decide as a child to be a little bit more independent, your parents start to trick you. They do. This is what they do. They start to hide things from you. Right? They start to put things away. Why? They even give you a label. You know what the label is? Anybody know what the label is that they give you? Terrible too, somebody said. So from the beginning, you're giving different labels. You're even called terrible. By the time that you're 2 years old, your loving parents have actually labeled you what? Terrible 2 stage. This is something that we have to think about because it's the training that we are all under now. And the more that we understand it and the more that we're able to come into a realization of how it is playing on us in a daily situation is how we're able to be who we are in our expression of spirit. So what happens is, as the toddler, starts to run around, and after they've been labeled that terrible too, right? So the toddler starts to getting into things, right? So what happens? The toddler picks up something, and the parent's like, no, 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 right? Parents training the child, right? We've all done it. I have children. We've all done it. Oh, no, 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 don't do that. Oh, no, 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 don't go that direction. Oh, if you go over here, this is what happened, right? Anybody remember? Well, some of us remember that, right? So in fact, what's happening is you're starting to introduce this word in the English language, which I think is one of the most dangerous words that we can have. No. Creates a lot of limitations. Would you agree? Often, I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I remembered it. I was listening to a lesson one time, and the individual said, I don't tell my children no. And actually, I've adopted this. I don't tell my children no. I tell them, you can have this when you do this. Okay? So I often try to eliminate that word. Sometimes I have to say it. But I often say, well, if you want that, you can have that when you do this. So what does that do? That gives them a little more hope than no. You can't have that, right? Even if I'm saying no, you can't have that at the moment, what I'm saying to them and what most of us hear with that is what? The no part, right? That's what we hear. So what I would like all of us to understand is we have all allowed ourselves and our loved ones to be dependent on us, on them. So what happens is the child runs around and grabs something, and then you say, no, give me that. And then what does the child say to you? No, right? And then what do you say to the child? Don't tell me no. How confused is the child now, right? Let's think about that. How confused is the child now, right? I would be confused. See, we have these agreements that we all agree to. It's actually an agreement that we have right now. We've all agreed that we're standing still at the moment. Are you? But your consciousness, we've all come into the agreement with our consciousness together, right? Together right now, we're sitting here standing still outside of unity, listening to a message. That's what your earthly senses tell you, yes? But we know that is incorrect, yes? But we engage with it and we accept it. It's called collective consciousness. We all make these agreements, and that's one of the things that Ruiz mentions in the 4 agreements. We all make these agreements, and we all make them together. We all make these agreements of limitations. We all make these different agreements in shaping our own eyes, ears, taste, touch, smell. We all agree to them. We all agree to a cake being baked. Smells great, yes? But if we were in another country, they might not have the same taste as us, yes? So they may just say, oh, that smells like something normal, yes? It's the agreements that we make that cause us to be dependent upon different things. We actually learn and become dependent on being an American, yes? Yes? We learn how to be American, yes? We learn how to be New Yorkers, right? We learn how to be Buffalonians, yes? We then also learn how to be East Siders, West Siders, North Siders, South Siders. And then we start the other labels and dissension that break us up. I'm from Grand Island. So that means something, right? I live on Grand Island, right? We learn how to be African American. This is something that's taught. Let's think about this. You learn how to be Italian. You learn how to be Latino, Asian, or whatever other culture or race that you are. And you're taught this by your loving family members, correct? Right? This is how this goes. This is how we go through life. And this is how we actually start to make our own judgment ourselves. We make our own judgment and our own thoughts by these impressions. If I gave you a couple of moments, a couple of seconds, you could think about an impression that one of your relatives made on you at a young age. A statement, a gesture. I used to work in a restaurant with some Italian guys when I was in college, and they used to call me Guccino. And I used to always wonder why they were calling. Why every time I come around you call me Guccino? So they finally told me. I was like, oh wow, thank you. I appreciate that. You know? But how did I learn that? Learn that by them, and that was my acceptance. Yes, them calling me Guccino. Right? Knew nothing about the word. Nothing of what it meant. We have this throughout life, these impressions that are constantly being brought upon us and being pressed on our minds of who we are supposed to be and how we're supposed to act. Okay? And what it starts to do, it causes a lot of, if you are on a spiritual path, as you begin to become a little older, it starts to draw a little bit of conflict within yourself if you're really on the right path. Because sometimes, let's be honest, we're taught how to hate. We're taught how to be prejudiced. This is learned behavior. You tell me when you see a child and the child looks at you, no matter what color that child is, it smiles, waves, has no impression at that time, has a blank slate, clean slate. You see that child 5, 6 years later, the child may look at you a little differently. Why? All the things that we have poured into the child to corrupt the child, period. We do it, each and every one of us. In fact, we actually start to become codependent to these same things because it's acceptance, right? Think about it. I'm not picking on the ladies. I'm going to pick on the men as well. Ladies, what is the first things you do when you go and grab a new pair of shoes? Show them to your friends. Ooh, girl, look at these. Nice, aren't they? Right? If they say yes, good to go in your closet. If somebody gives you you started, but you bought them with your own money and you're okay with them at the store. Yes or no? Yeah. Yes or no? Someone else came, they weren't accepting of it, right? So now you are thinking about it. Did I make the right decision? So I have what I call COVID hair. You guys remember me, you may not, or you may. When I walked up, Mike looked at me a little. He was like, looking at me a little, and he didn't realize that I grew a little hair. So as I'm going through the COVID hair, because I'm literally, mainly most of my adult life in corporate America, I've had a very, very short haircut. So as I'm going through my COVID hair, what do I say? Do you like it? Are you accepting of it? Falling into the same trap. So, true story. One of my cousins says, I don't know. So what do? I don't know. So I told my cousin, I said, well, if I put a little more gel and I do all these things, it curls up a little bit more. Why in the heck am I worried about what he feels about it? If it's good to me, it's good to me. But we have these different things that are constantly at us like this. When you see the color red, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Say it again. Stop. When you see the color green, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Go. In fact, there's a study on that. The reason why McDonald's is red and yellow is because those colors induce hunger. You're brainwashed constantly. We're all brainwashed constantly if you allow yourself to be. What does the color white mean? If you hear it quickly, come on, be honest. Pure, yeah, honestly. What does the color black mean? Let's be honest. Villain, not so good. Brainwashed are you? Are we? So when you see something black, it's supposed to be a villain, right? You see something black, it's supposed to be gloomy, right? We see something white, it's supposed to be pure, right? This is what we just said. This is our culture. This is what America, our great country. Hey, come on now. I love my country, but we're talking real here. Excuse me if I'm too real right now, but it is time for it to be noted and said. The dependence in the way that we have allowed different things, different people to shape how we think, look, or are towards individual has to stop now. That's how we have the tragedy down in my old neighborhood in the Tops. That's how we have that. Somebody that doesn't have independent thinking. Somebody that wants to be accepted within a group of people. And instead of accepting and loving all, we decide to have hatred toward a set group of people, where they live or what they look like. I actually used to attend that library right across the street on, I think that's Utica. Is that Ferry or Utica? Utica. I often talk about me growing up in Buffalo. I went to school 53, which is not too far from there. Spent a lot of time at my aunt's house, who actually used to live right over here, and this is the reason why I got over to Unity. My aunt used to live right there on Dodge and Dodge and Wohlers, which is not far from there. So to hear something like this and to hear that someone would plan so detailed to be destructive towards a group of people, and then if you look at it, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but of course when he saw someone of his race and his color, he apologized. That says a lot, doesn't it? Of how someone thinks of another human being or life. But I think that we have to embrace that young man, and we have to pray for him, because he doesn't understand who he is. He doesn't understand love. He doesn't understand acceptance. And unfortunately, now, such a young person has to sit back and think about a tragedy that he has caused so many lives. Actually, unfortunately, a childhood friend lost his uncle. One of my childhood friends, his uncle was a security guard there, the one that got shot. Wow. We walk through life in these visual effects. We have these 3D glasses. They're wonderful. I play with them. But it gives us this false illusion of life at times. And I really believe this young man, unfortunately, had a false illusion of life at the moment. I really don't think we need to act so harsh towards him, because he needs to be held in love too, because he is still a child of God. No matter what he has done, God still accepts him. God still accepts him. If he turns himself, forgives himself, and is able to change himself, he rights his wrong within God. God does not hold judgment against him like that. We hold the judgment. Let's please take a moment of silence for those individuals that lost their lives there. I'd also like to give a moment of silence to Dory. And in this moment of silence, I'd like to give a recognition to my aunt, Julie Turner, who we lost a couple weeks ago as well. So this codependency that we're talking about, I would like all of you to look at it. Take a look. I encourage you to allow yourself to just look at how dependent you are on these different things that you've agreed yourself to measure different things on, to judge different things with. See, when you understand that you're dependent upon coffee in the morning to get you moving, you understand that it really isn't the coffee that gets you moving. It's something that you think. The coffee is a symbolism, really, right? Right. When you understand that you're dependent upon relationships, you're dependent upon your spouse or loved ones, then you can understand more of your thinking and how it works. I would like to give you a scripture, Romans 12. Do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable. I'm going to read that one more time. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove that the will of God is that which is good, acceptable, and perfect. When we start to understand how the five senses are playing with us, it helps us out a great deal. I'd like to tell you a quick little story. Last month, my daughter turned 13. I still love her. This is my second time going through the teenage situation. First time was a boy. Same but different as the young lady. So, one of the things that we have as a tradition in our family is when you're turning a milestone age, is your treat, what you want to do. If it's a regular birthday, you pick the dinner. So, if it's a special birthday, you pick the vacation. So my daughter picked the vacation of going on a cruise. So we fly down to Florida, stay in the condo for a couple of days, and then we hit the cruise. So as we hit the cruise, the first day we're looking at the ship, and oh my goodness, if you haven't gone cruising lately, it's amazing, some of the ships. They have all these slides, and it's just wonderful. Anyway, so we started to make our itinerary, and it was all about her. What do you want to do, babe? This is your day. What do you want to do? So she said, I want to take in the show. I want to do this. I want to do that. So we're like, all right, let's do it. So the first night we get there, she wants to take in ice skating on the boat, right? Think about this. Think about what I'm saying. On the boat. So we go to the theater. I'm telling you, it was such a small space, but they made it work. The skaters are twirling and flipping and everything, and I'm just like, I'm amazed. And then actually one of the guys took a little tumble but jumped back up. And then I said to my daughters, I said, you know what? Here's what we forgot. Right now, we're looking at this room, and the room seems still. But the boat is moving. So we think that the guy actually took a fall on his own, but isn't the boat moving? So I said to my daughter, I was like, this is the illusion. You see what I'm saying? This is the illusion. Look at how our mind has us thinking that we're sitting in this theater watching this ice skating, and then we see the guy fall, and we immediately blame it on him. He didn't do his job, and we're not thinking the boat is moving at certain knots through an ocean on a planet that is rotating around the sun. So my daughter goes, wow, I never thought about it like that. I said, but these are the illusions that we engage in every day. just like we just talked about a moment ago here. So what I told my daughter, I said, what I want you to start doing is thinking about all the other illusions that your mind is playing on you. So she said, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So we got off the boat 2 days later, and she starts walking, and she says, does anybody else still feel like they're on the boat? I said, yes. I said, you see, your mind is still playing a trick on you, because after we got off the boat, all of our bodies felt as though we were still swaying a little bit. So after you realize something, your mind still does what? Continue to play tricks on you and what you're intaking. So this brought me to another really good example. We have a little furry creature here. Where is the creature? All right. So I talked about how I went to Florida, right? So God is good. So we're in Florida at the condo that we have there, and this is actually yesterday, the day before I'm coming here. And I said, I want to go to the beach before I go to Buffalo. I want to go to the beach before I go to Buffalo. So we go to the beach. We take in the beach, and it's called Bark Beach. That's the name of the beach, Bark Beach. So as we go to the beach, all of these dogs are just running free. No chains on. And I mean, I'm telling you, the dogs are just having some fun right now. The dogs are just running and they're roaming, and there's packs of dogs. And I'm just saying to myself, look at the independence that these dogs feel that they have right now, right? Yeah. Right? They're not on the chain, right? And so guess what it made me think of? Us. And our chains. Our mental chains that we have on ourselves. The same situation. Mr. Carter, great book. The Miseducation of the Negro talks about the chains that the African American has on his mind or her mind because of slavery and the different things that happen. But I like to say that all of us have the same chains in different ways. So all of the dogs, they're running around and they're just smelling each other's crotches, all the other things that the dogs do. And so I just decided to pay attention a little bit more. So 5 of them run this way. They pick up 3 or 4 and they run this way. So now it's about 8 or 10 of them. They're just running up and down the beach. So all of a sudden, one of them has to come back on the chain. The master says, whatever the name is, so-and-so, come here. And so I'm looking at the pack to see which one of the dogs they're talking to. So, the pack starts to run off again and the dog kind of stops. I'm like, it must be that one, right? It must be that one. So the owner has to call again. Come on, it's time to go, And so the dog is sitting there contemplating, do I want to go back under? This scrutiny and this judgment and this pulling of where I have to go and what I have to do. I have to be walked at a certain time. I have to be fed at a certain time. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? See where I'm going with this? How we're doing ourselves, right? I ask you to be more like the dog, off the chain, to be brave, like we heard in our opening song. What would you do if you could just be brave and felt that there was no failure? What would you do if you gave yourself a moment to make a mistake? How often do you beat yourself up? I know I do sometimes. I feel I should be greatness at every moment. 4 agreements, talk about that as well. There's 4 agreements. Do your best at all times. Your best isn't always going to be the same. If you're not feeling well, your best is your best for that day. So what I want us all to do is I want us all to think about the things and the dependencies that we have to allow ourselves to be released so that our spirit can be one with itself. We did the meditation at the beginning, right? What did that meditation say? I am not what? I am not my body. I am not my mind. Are you? No, you're not. You're spirit. You're spirit. Don't you remember a time when you were young and vibrant? I remember that time when I was young and vibrant. I look at myself in the mirror now. Wait, let me rephrase that. Before I look at myself in the mirror, I still think I'm that person. But the body changes. The spirit doesn't. You sit up here and tell me that oftentimes you don't think that you can do some of the things that you used to be able to do, but your body gives you something different. Yes or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You are spirit. You are not the body. You're not the mind. You're not all the garbage that people have poured into you to allow you to have these judgments and these prejudices. We all have them, including myself. Had. I listen to myself before I allow myself to think certain things. And that's what you have to do. When are you going to start? You going to wait till you're on your deathbed? The earlier you start, the better off you can really experience life. You see? Because you don't have all the baggage. You don't have all of the preconceived notions when you walk into a room about who a person is because they're from California. Or who a person is because they believe that the Patriots are the best team in the AFC.
What was that?
Exactly. We have to lose those things in order to really experience a great life. Who's with me? Who's with me?
Absolutely.
Who understands that we aren't as independent as we thought we were? Who understands? So, today, I need you to claim your independence. Would you like to know how I think you could do that?
Yeah.
I got 5 steps for you. Okay? The first is what we've just talked about. Examine yourself. Examine your thinking. What are you holding on to? You might not be able to do that right now. And even if you take a few moments to do it, you will see other moments where things come up. Embrace those moments. Those are teaching lessons for yourself. Daniel Amens talks about how in our mind we have all of these things that as children we latch on to. An ice cream, what it means, when you get it as a child, summertime a lot of times, right? Doing something nice with the family. Those are all the things that continually are in our brain. So we also have to think of how we're thinking something is good or bad. Because in Amen's book, he mentions about when you don't feel good about something, how the chemical imbalance in your body changes. Has anybody ever heard of this? Yeah. So why are we getting so frustrated about things? I'm telling you, I could have gotten so frustrated about getting here yesterday. And I kept telling myself, there's a reason why. Just relax. There's a reason. My wife gave me this great gift, and they took it at TSA. Oh my goodness. Frustrated. My ticket to come here, they told me I had a digital pass. You got to go back to the counter. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why is it so hard for me to get home at the moment? But I realized that there's a reason why I have to get here to see you lovely people. This message needs to be heard. So it couldn't be stopped. So 1, we're going to examine our own thoughts, our own judgments, our own preconceived notions, right? 2, the meditation that we did to begin with. I would like you to try that. Actually, you can find it on YouTube. The actual name of the meditation is a Hindu meditation, and it's actually called Isha Kira. Isha Kira. So the Isha part is the source. Kira is the inward recognition of the source. Okay? So that's the actual meditation that is done in the Hindu culture. Okay? So 1, we're going to look at our own thoughts. 2, we're going to meditate more, right? You can meditate. That meditation actually takes about 10 minutes, okay? Inhale, you know what to say. Exhale, you know what to say. At the end of that, you take on 7, that's how you end it, okay? Shadith Guru has a nice instruction on how to do it. Third thing, I would like you to start a practice. Yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong. Yoga in the Western society, we've used it as an exercise. Yoga actually means to unite. So when you practice yoga, it's actually meant for you to be in unity with nature. We, in the Western culture, we've taken it on as more of an exercise. It's not. It's a meditation. It's a moving meditation. That's what yoga is. That's what Tai Chi is. That's what Qigong is. I would also like you to start eating for your blood type. We all have different blood types. And if you eat towards your blood type, it helps your thought process, helps your energy, helps you stay lean. These are all the things that can help you with your independence of this physical body and your thoughts. I like to end with Surah 42:36. Whatever pleasure you have been giving, no more than fleeing enjoyment of the world, of the worldly life. But what is with Allah is far better and more lasting for those who believe and put their trust in the Lord shall flourish. Be spirit, not flesh. Be one with the universe. Psalms 1 tells us, he who meditates day and night shall be like a tree by the river, shall bear fruits. So, as I end on all of my lessons, please be the last one to doubt yourself, because many people will stand in line to doubt you for you. Thank you. It's been great.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dreams that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you, Mike and Anandi. That was beautiful. Thank you. Now we have some transformational opportunities. We're nearing the end. Hang in there, please. We have several spirit group service projects that are going on right now. Right now we are collecting food donations and also a variety of items that are needed to support refugee families through Clara's Closet. And we have, and come on up.
Hello. For the entire month of July, we are collecting items for Claire's Closet. This is an organization that benefits refugees. It's located in Central Park United Methodist Church, and at this time they have a constant ongoing need for diapers, toiletries, shampoo, toothbrushes, toothpaste, etc. So if you can, please contribute. We'll have this in the church during the weekend. This will be here every Sunday. So we'd like to keep this as an ongoing project, but for July, we are trying to relate that concept of freedom from this country, and that the people who come here are seeking that which we have. Thank you.
Nice job, Christine. And this is really a worthy project. I mean, aren't they all? Thank you, Christine. Another one of our spirit groups is initiating a weekly online prayer support opportunity. Now listen to this. For the month of July, every Wednesday at 12:45 in the afternoon, there will be an opportunity for anyone with a prayer request to call in and be part of a prayer circle. And the Zoom link is in our weekly email blast. So if you're feeling that you need to get a little bit more focused attention on your prayer request, why don't you consider calling in on Wednesdays at 12:45 via Zoom. We're having a summer cookout. And the cookout will be outside here in our Peace Park. And please sign up if you commit to help with this event. We need at least 5 to 7 people who can commit to set up and clean up. So the date will most likely be August 14th, the second Sunday in August. Okay? Please come, enjoy. Yes. Foundation of Unity class. This foundations class, Reverend Mary will be starting this 6-week class on Monday afternoons. Monday starting August 8th from 2:30 to 3:30. You can sign up on the welcome table, and Reverend Mary will email you the syllabus and all the book information. And now we are ready to close our service with the prayer for protection. Please repeat with me. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
With God as our creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me. This is the moment now. With every step I take, this
Thank you, Anand B. Thank you.